Hey YouTube, don't know if I've ever actually played a gold strat before and I get two in the same week. Yep, this is a I don't actually know where it's made. Well, it says Mexico in the front, I don't normally say it at the back. Yeah, so it's a Mexican special edition gold HSS strat. I'm not sure whether the metal plate is an original feature. Kind of like my Schecter plate. Well, I think Schecter probably did it first in the 70s. Yeah, so it was in for electrical issues, bit of a wobbly jack, which I hope I've sorted. The other guitar, the Les Paul with the dodgy thing on it, I do remember you mentioning the dodgy jack, but I was with the machine heads that rattled. I basically worked on the machine heads that rattled. I kind of figured that was the fact that there's not really much point in fixing an output jack if the guitar's knackered. was my look at it, but apparently it's sorted now, so that'll be good. Yeah, so the wiring on the bridge pickup, basically I took it off and it fell off, so I think that was probably what the intermittent thing was. So I cleaned up the pots. I don't think you use the tone very much. The tone is kind of gummed up at 10 and at 0. It works, but it's a bit unused feeling. You can change it if you want, but I figured if it's the reason I think it's unused, probably you're not going to use it anymore. So I cleaned up the volume, so it's now clean as well. So that's the humbucker on the bridge. Neck pickup for the stratty sounds. This guitar's nicely played. That's me just checking to make sure the mic's on. It is good. I reckon I could probably put the volume of the guitar up a wee bit. But this audio thing it's an ongoing thing. What I've noticed with my super surround soundy thing, and also when you listen to it in stereo as well, having just a bit of something in it gives the super surround soundy thing something to work with, and it kind of isolates everything and it makes it sound much bigger, makes it not mono anymore. It doesn't have to be very stereo to be stereo, it just has to be not mono. It makes a wee bit of a difference. Now next, position 4. Middle position, I never use that. And then position 2 does not split the humbucker. If I was wiring it, I would have made it split the humbucker, so it basically would give you a split pickup and that in position 2. So this is the humbucker and the middle pickup, and then the humbucker on its own. I think a wee bit of dirt the humbucker will probably quite like. Go for the L Campbell. That L Campbell works really well. The TC Electronics for single coils like strats and stuff like that is kind of, it gives you a bit of dirt, but you still sounds totally all the notes still there. If that makes sense. Like it seems to kind of boost the single coils a bit, but on the humbucker it just gives it something. It gives it something to sound like a humbucker with. Try my £1.82 rat pedal, which I'm now getting onto. Z5190 doesn't really give you the number, I'm sure. I think the guy said it was like, I think it's 20 years, 30 years old anyway. It's one piece maple neck, and I do like the one-piece maple neck. That might even be a 7¼ inch radius. I used to be able to tell until I got guitars with a 7¼ inch radius. Basically, that was the first one I got, and then now I don't notice anymore. Where's my radiosometer? Let's just put it. Just turns out to not be just exactly the same as all the other ones at 9.5. Yeah, I'm arguing that. So there, it's a 7¼ inch radius. So a mix of the vintage specs. We've got their jumbo frets, or medium jumbo at least, a humbucker, but you've got the 7¼ inch radius. Well, there you go. It's got the sort of box tuners on it as well. I remember I've got them on something. They're on my double neck Star Destroyer. I knew I'd seen them somewhere. I knew they were off a Mexican Strat. Actually, thinking about it, did I know? I did. I had just in getting set up a Squire. I don't think it was. It might have been a Fender. I don't think it was a Squire. I think it was a Mexican Fender Telecaster John 5 guitar, like not the one with the funny headstock, the one with just a Telecaster headstock, and it was basically this colour with a metal scratch plate that looked like this and black pickups. So kind of, and this was way before the John 5 one. So I kind of go, I see that. Whatever limited edition, does it say limited edition? Special edition. I'll have that, but a Telecaster. Maybe. Perhaps. Right, £1.82 pedal. Here we go. It's nice getting a guitar that's actually been played. It's like, I get a lot of guitars, a lot of the ones I bought, they've been sitting under a cupboard for 10 years, or that's why they eventually get sold. People don't tend to go, right, I'm selling my guitar. It tends to sit there, and for a couple of years it's like, oh, I've not played that in a while, and then it becomes all the strings are old, and then it gets moved from in below the bed to on top of the wardrobe and then the attic, and then you eventually go, so I'll sell it. That's normally when I get a guitar. But actually getting one in that's actually been like a proper working guitar. It's been owned by someone. It's not been owned by some idiot like me who's got a collection, so can't play them the way they should be. I get the impression this is maybe played every week sort of thing, and has been since it was new. It's quite worn, as in the frets are kind of worn down, but they're worn down quite evenly, like it's been. And there's there are dinks and dents and stuff, but these are not dents of misuse, or just dents of it being used for 20 years. Not been carelessly flung about and scraped along the floor to make it look cool. None of that. It's got the occasional dent for leaning against a stage here and coming off the strap there. Maybe the HSS Strat is a very good thing. I'm kind of enjoying the humbucker in this one. Just sitting there thinking, I do actually. I've got the Casio guitar's got a humbucker in the bridge. I've just got a tendency when I'm playing a Strat to use Strat sounds, even if it does have humbuckers, just because it's a Strat. If I wanted humbucker sounds, I would play a humbuckery guitar. But I definitely think I would use that. Put the automatic coil split in. That slight click in there is just what you get with that Oak Grigsby type of switch. The switch you want is the plastic one that you get really cheap with the circuit board on it. They don't make this noise. All the fancy ones from the 50s do. Doesn't matter how much money you spend. I can temporarily make it slightly less bad by putting contact clear on it, I would think. But I already went in and scraped the terminals and cleaned it from the inside anyway. But that's just... You can buy a new Switch, but again, if you buy a new Switch, you're going to end up doing exactly the same as what I did with that one there, where it's like, oh, it's the original Japanese Switch from 1983, so I managed to get exactly the same Switch, brand new. They still make it, and was that an HM30 or something it was called, made in Japan. Put that in it, and it was fucking the same as the one that was in it. It's just a crap design. Going to just put them in the circuit board thing so they don't have those wee stupid wee tinfoil lever things that just break and get gunged up. Ran over. Totally got a volume and a tone, actually, to make it not a full on strat as well. I think this scratch plate was original, although it had been rewired. It definitely wasn't the pickup's definitely been off and then put back on again. The neck is almost exactly the same carve as my 1983 Ibanez Blazer. The neck feels exactly the same. In fact, the whole guitar feels unbelievably similar. I wonder if they're both basically a copy of the same year Strat. You know, it's like it never used to be. I think by the time you started getting into any of the modern era, it's like, oh, that's a 71 neck shape or whatever. I think maybe that. I wonder if that's maybe the Blazer's just copied from the same one that this is. I think this is, although it's a Mexican Strat, most of the Mexican Strats I play are much newer or much less played. You know, people buy them as ornaments. And maybe that's what makes them not as good as a lot of these guitars. This is far more level pegging with my Japanese guitars than any of the other Mexican ones I've played. Because I think there is an element of... There is a guitar that's been played in a lot is 10% better. It's just smoother, everything's rounder, it's used to vibrating, all these things that, you know... It's got its voice, it knows what it's doing. See, it's actually in for the jack socket being fixed. I don't think you need to pick up was burst. I think that's alright. Yeah, so yes, I like it, love it, good stuff. I reckon that's it fixed. Rock on.